This one had it all. Big catches. Big hits. Big stops. Big bounces. Don't look so sad. The celebration is about to begin. Bedlam Highlights and the Bob Simmons Show are both coming up next.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to the Bob Simmons Show. It was the 91st edition of Bedlam football, and the Cowboys were on the road to Memorial Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma. A capacity crowd was on hand to witness the Oklahoma State Cowboys roll 30-7 over the Oklahoma Sooners. And with me, of course, the head coach of Oklahoma State Cowboy football, Bob Simmons. And Coach, congratulations on win number 7.
Well, thanks, Paul. It was a real great game for us, and it's always fun to beat your in-state rivalry. And our kids went into this ball game and played hard and really came away with victory.
Well, Coach, we've got lots of highlights, obviously, so let's get to the action. I want to ask you a question. Solid offensive game, a suffocating defense, signs of a very well-prepared football team.
Well, I think the coaching staff did a good job of preparing them for OU's offense and went in knowing that Brandon Daniels was going to play. And when you play an option football, it's very important to be sound fundamental in terms of your assignments. And what you saw the first 3 plays and out, it was perfect execution. We had a guy on the quarterback, guy on the pitch. We forced him to punt. And this is a nice catch by RW. I think the rule says it's a halo rule where they got to allow him to catch the ball. Give our offense the ball in great field position. This is a nice inside run by Nathan, especially because I think OU's got a pretty good defense. And here's Tony Lindsay going for 10 yards. So beginning of the ball game, our offense did some good things moving the football. We had 3 different guys carry the ball. That's I think that's Brian Akins for 5 and 6 yards, and they knocked this ball down. We played RW a little bit early in the ball game with the idea of he was going to be in the offensive game plan. They stopped us, and this is supposed to be a pooch kick. We didn't want him to kick it out of the end zone.
A little too fired up, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we've got a cutaway here. This is 2 series later, Oklahoma taking over at their own 10.
Well, again, the most important thing, Paul, that we tried to do is really stop their running attack. And Devon Parker here, this is one of the rarities runs that he has had going up against RW. But we're doing a good job of really now forcing him into a pass situation. Ironically, this is a good pass by Brandon Daniels. He catches it out of position. Then we call a blitz here, and again, when you're going to blitz an option football team ball, if you don't carry out your assignments, this is what can happen. And that's something that we got corrected later on in the ball game. But they scored the first touchdown. We didn't panic. We take this kick off, and this is a pretty nice return up to about the 29, 30-yard line, and gives our offense a good field position. And then we start to move the ball. Now, this is a nice defensive play. Good change of direction. The thing that Nathan does is he gets back upfield and gets positive yardage, which is what he has to do. Option play. This is a nice run by Tony Lindsay, getting the first down because that was a key 3rd down play. We go back to 5 inside, and he spurts for about 7. So at this point in the game, our offense is really moving the ball well, running the ball. This is a nice cut. It makes a guy miss and picks up about 15 yards outside and gets knocked into the kick.
Wipes out one of the kickers, is right.
Yeah.
Here we see Jamal 16 yards on the replay. Good game for Fobbs as he comes off the bench. 25 carries, 122 yards, averaged 5 yards a carry, and took out a kicker on the sideline. Now we see the change of quarters here in the second quarter, and Lindsay a pass to Sean Love.
Well, again, this is a nice throw and catch by Sean Love. Sean Love has really been stepping up these last couple of weeks. They stop us. We have to settle for a field goal. It's important to get points on the board, and Tim Sitton is just that comes in. He's been solid these last couple of weeks. Give us 3, and we go back on defense. This is Brandon, again, running the option, and we really string it out where our guys are not staying blocked. And this was a key series.
This was a very key series.
Great field position. They're trying to put the game out of reach early, and this is Damon. And we got 4 and 5 guys around him, so he doesn't break loose. And this is Brandon. This is a nice pitch. This is Jackson they put in, and he gets close to the first down, but doesn't get it. Make it a 4th and 1 call, and this is a great defensive stop where our defensive line took charge of their offensive line, and I think that's the trail, and he comes up short. And that was a good stop for us, Paul. It really changed the momentum of the ball game. It could have gone either way, but fortunately for us, it went that way. Our offense takes the ball now, and we start to run the football on them. And you got decent blocking up front, and their defense is playing real hard. And Tony makes a very nice throw to Steggs for a first down. He's flush, but Steggs get open, and he really makes a nice catch. He needs to stay up and get more, but that was enough for a first down, which keeps that drive in line. And we go back inside with Jamal, and their two inside guys are good players. When you go against Chase and go against Kelly Gray, that's a good play. And here's a great play to RW, who really beat their corner. And unfortunately for us, we had a guy that was come on the field late, but he did not line up on the numbers. Had he lined up on the numbers, that play would have counted.
Also, he didn't line up far enough in bounds.
He didn't fight. Yeah, he was in bounds, but he's got to be 9 yards from the formation.
Well, the touchdown called back, OSU forced a punt, and up to the defense to come up with a stop, and they do.
We do. That defense, especially the defensive front and linebackers, are playing well. You can see that our option responsibility at this point in time is very sound. We're taking the quarterback and the pitch, and they come up with the turnover. We get the turnover, which really gets us great field position. I just think that when you switch positions to quarterback, that's a center quarterback exchange, which should be fundamental. But it's something that we've had problems with. And when you get a new quarterback, that could happen. We get the turnover, and we come back now with a misdirection play, and Tony makes a nice throw to Steggs again for about 6 or 7 yards. And
Coach, we're going to see here 3 key third down conversions on this scoring drive. The first one here, 3rd and 3, and Lindsey on the keeper.
It's a nice call, and again, all he had to get was 3 yards, good blocking up front. And
now 3rd and 9 here.
This is 3rd and 9 here, and this is supposed to be a screen play, which they figured out. And when you do that and give Tony Lindsey a chance to make something happen, he does a good job. They over-pursued the screen play, which left nobody backside, and Tony made a smart decision by not throwing the ball and really running enough for a first down.
Carried
really
for 13 yards.
13-yard gain, kept the play alive, and now we're going back to
3rd and 8.
This is 3rd and 8. This is a nice catch by, again, Sean Love, keeping his 1 foot in bounds, and nice throw, and got that ball up high, and defensive backs complaining about he pushed off, but I didn't see it that way.
Well, the wide receivers had a great performance this week.
Boy,
Sean and Willie and
Willie
RW.
and RW. Nice, kept that foot in bounds, tried to get both feet in bounds, which I think he did, and that's a great catch. And for us to go up, we're 10-7 now, and with the time running out of the half, and we just decided to squib kick this thing, let it roll down. I think it was 26 seconds left on the clock. And I'd like to tell you that we were taking dead aim at this guy, but we wasn't. It's something that just happened, and fortunately for us, we come up with the turnover. He just starts to run, and this ball just catches him right in the midsection and bounces back our way.
Well, Coach, we were talking about this, eerily similar to a play on Lewis Field back in 1983. This time, though, in our favor, and here we see Tony airing it out to Dante Hill.
Well, you know, we had one shot at it. We threw it deep. He actually underthrew this ball. Dante came back for it, and had Dante went down, we would have had more time. Probably would have had a shot at the end zone, but we had 7 seconds, and Sittons went in there and kicked it through, and we go in with a lot of momentum, being up 13-7 at this point.
Well, 13-7 is the halftime after Sidness connects on the 36-yard field goal attempt. OSU 13-7 lead. And folks, if you thought that the first half was exciting, you'll want to stick around for round 2. We'll be back after this timeout. Welcome back to the Bob Simmons Show. Coach, 13-7 lead, but a very confident and businesslike locker room at halftime.
Well, we talked about a half, what we had to do the second half to really maintain our composure and go out and continue to play sound. And we knew the ball game wasn't over. Here you see the defense comes out and they run an option play, and we're in pretty good position here. And they throw, and our defensive backs do a good job. This is actually a good throw by Brandon. He throws it out, and this is nice coverage. I think that's Kevin Williams.
Good hit.
And Kevin is a kind of tackler. He drives through you. But our defense is playing well with their option assignments here. And we force a pitch here, and they come up short. This is a nice hit, keeping Damon Parker from the first down. We force him out, almost blocked that. That was a nice effort by Jamal Williams. And again, we fair catch this, and we go back on offense and start moving the ball here. That's Jamal Fobbs, and Nathan is hurt at this point in time. And this is a nice inside run, 3rd and 10 or 18, but this is a nice 15-yard gain by Fobbs. again, the thing that he does well is he bounces his plays to the outside and really makes a miss with his quickness.
3rd and 10, and Jamal Fobbs takes the pitch around the right side, 18 yards, and keeps this scoring drive alive. And now we see Tony Lindsay on the carry.
Good. He starts to throw the out route to Sean Love, and they covered it. And that's the thing that Tony does well, that he can turn an average play into a positive play. And this is with his speed and quickness there, which probably should have been a 5-yard face mask call, but they didn't take that. First down for us, drive is alive, and then he goes inside to Willie Grissom. Nice throw, a nice catch by Willie, and we come back and go up top. Nice throw, leads our W perfectly. Good catch, good throw, 6 points.
Oklahoma State with a 6-play, 76-yard scoring drive, and of course here we get another look at the 40-yard touchdown pass to RW. Coach, this is the same play you ran earlier, just to the other side.
That's right, and again, but with the same results.
The same results. Were there different cover guys, or was this the same cornerback?
No, this is different coverage, different DB. I think that might have been White over there. Well, this time it counted.
At this point, fans are going crazy. 20-7 lead, and here we see some great coverage on the special teams. We see Clint Metcalf making
Clint Metcalf does a nice job here, really folding underneath and making this tackle just past the 20-yard line. And as you can see, Paul, we got pretty good momentum. We got a sizable lead here, and the thing that we understand in the past, that when you get those kind of leads, that you got to continue to play with that kind of effort. And this is a good job of our defense. We're still swarming, still flying around and playing with a lot of intensity. They insert Eric Moore in the ball game, and his first pass, I think, gets away from him. He comes back and he starts to scramble, and he's got to put that ball away, but he drops it. And I wish Alton Weaver had better athletic ability. He probably would have picked it up and ran it in the end zone. He was so shocked that he did that he fell down.
Well, you can't start singling guys out, but defensively, Andrell, Kenyatta Wright, so many of them had big games.
Well, that defense really went in and played well and made a statement. I was happy to see that, and really gave us great field position by getting those turnovers. We go for a field goal here, and he tried to really have this thing turn inside, but it stayed outside and come up with no points. We go back on defense, and again, you see that we have a lot of people around the ball. We forced another fumble. I think in all total, Paul, we got about 6 turnovers in this ball game, which is a real sign that your defense is playing good, aggressive football. And Kenyatta Wright, nice effort, caused the fumble, and I think that was Andrell Waddle that gets on it, and again puts our offense in real good football position.
So we missed the 45-yard field goal, but get the turnover in great field position. Here, Jamal going back to work.
Right. And their defense comes in and really makes it very tough on us. It gets off block. But this is a nice run by Fobbs, and we're moving that ball inside the 20-yard line now. And this is a good, tough run inside. And what we're trying to do, they come up and stop us, and we decide to kick it to make it 23-7 at this point.
After the turnover, 7 plays, but only cover 15 yards. Eat 3 minutes off the clock, and the 32-yard Sidness field goal is good, 23-7, and now another 3 and out defensively.
Well, and that's the thing that the defense wanted to do all game, is really control OU's offensive attack, and you see we're putting a lot of pressure on Eric Moore and have him step up, and our defensive lineman in the right spot, and he throws his thing, and again, the ball gets away from him. But we had 3 guys around his intended receiver. He goes backside, and I think this is the Howell. He does a nice job of picking this ball off, and again, here it is, another turnover provided by our defense.
And again, see good pressure on the OU quarterbacks all day. Great break on the football by Howell. 18-yard return here by Ethan Howell, and sets up the Cowboys in good field position at the Oklahoma State 31, and I believe we're going to see Mr. Fobbs going back to work.
Yeah, Fobbs inside, good blocking at the point, but they do a good job of getting off blocks and making this tackle. But we're running hard now inside, and we're inside the 20-yard line, and what we want to do is really try to get a score here. And then Tony Lindsay starts to scramble, but he doesn't put that ball away. And I think you got to credit their defense for continuing to play hard and forcing the turnover and give their offense a chance to get back on the field. But they give it back to us. He throws deep into coverage. Kevin Williams nice job of intercepting this thing. Does a nice job of running the back. This time he holds on to the football.
6th interception of the year, and the OSU has the football at the OU 28.
Yeah,
Jamal Fobbs
back down there again, and we're moving the ball. And again, we've been down there all day. Really haven't got in the end zone running the football. And
well, they've got some good athletes. That's a solid defense.
Real good athletes. Very good defense. And the ball game is winding down, and we put Dante in because of our tailback situation, and we've taken in. Finally get a score because we've been in the red zone all day and really have not put it into that particular situation.
Well, did it have anything to do with it being his birthday that he is in the lineup there inside?
No, it had nothing to do with his birthday. Just the fact that offensively, when you got to give OU credit defensively because they kept us out in the red zone. And your offense has got to find a way to score in the red zone. Well,
30-7 was the final, Coach, and you got to be pleased. The last 2 weeks, Oklahoma State's played solid but hadn't finished in the fourth quarter. This week, they certainly finished in the fourth quarter.
Well, Paul, we finished. The most important thing for us was trying to get number 7, and it just happened to be our rival game with OU, and 7 put us legitimately at a point where we can go to a bowl at the end of the year, and we're still contending for the race in the Southern Division, and it keeps us in first place. And now what we got to do is really finish strong in these next 2 ball games.
Thanks, Coach. We'll be back with more on the Bob Simmons Show after this timeout.
TD's 2-minute drill sponsored by Farm Credit. For Ag, for Life.
Welcome back to the Bob Simmons Show. When Coach Simmons arrived here 3 years ago, his message to the Oklahoma State football program was to dream big. That dream continued Saturday afternoon in Norman.
We got number 7. Sweet number 7. We haven't sung this song in a long time. I know you haven't forgotten how to do it. Let's go ahead. Seniors up. Still, man. Seniors up. Let's start clapping. Let's
go. We came in this game confident, We knew it was going to be a hostile crowd, we were going to have to stay together as a team, and I think we did that on both sides of the ball, and we came out with the win.
There wasn't a lot of room. I just had to get off the ball, and Tony Lindsay put it up in the air for me, and I managed to jump higher than the defender, and I kind of looked down right after I caught it and tried to put my left foot in bounds, and fortunately it was right inside the line.
Fortunately, we were able to get some one-on-one with the corners and the receivers, and Tony made some good checks, give us a sign, which route he wanted us to run. We executed, he put the ball where it needed to be. I've been kind of quiet these past 2 weeks, and I knew I had to step my game up, and I just came out prepared to do that. I got to give the defensive line and the linebackers credit, man. They're the ones who stopped the run. They're the ones who caused all the fumbles. They're the ones who got the pressure to give me the pick. So I just thank them, and I just thank everybody.
We was kind of going after the quarterback because we knew he wanted to turn the ball up and try to get as many yards as he could. So we figured we took him out. Everybody else would run to the pitch man, and that's basically what we did.
Obviously, not being from the state of Oklahoma, you're not into this Bedlam stuff. You went to winning week after week, right?
Yeah, but as the years go on, I'll probably get used to it and take it as seriously as everybody else from Oklahoma on the team.
We got the bragging rights, Oklahoma State. All the Booker T boys that went to OSU have all bragging rights on the north side of Tulsa now.
Yeah, Paul, we are dreaming big, and this has been a fabulous year so far, and the dream is still going on as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I love the chalkboard, how sweet it is. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the Bob Simmons Show. Well, Coach, Week 9 is in the books. We're going to take a look at the Big 12 South standings, and it's a tight race here with 2 weeks to go.
It is, Paul. You got 3 teams that's vying for this championship in the South Division, and in these next couple of weeks it's going to be tight. We got Texas Tech coming in here this week, and then A&M is going up to Norman, and then that's going to be a close ball game up there, and what we got to do is really take care of business here.
Texas Tech, Spike Dykes, Zebby Lethridge will be back in town, and I'm sure we'll be looking for paybacks from last year in the Cotton Bowl.
That's right.
Well, Folks, we appreciate you joining us and want to remind you, kickoff is at 2 o'clock this week, the final home game of the 1997 football season. Won't be on television, so call early for your tickets. We need to pack the house and send those seniors out in style. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you again next week on The Bob Simmons Show. Good night.